Welcome back to Teleporting with Command Blocks Part 2. I've decided to call this series Command Block Basics, but this one isn't a basic video. This is actually the intermediate level for teleportation. If you'd like to see Part 1, then there's a little icon at the top right of the screen. This is a little bit more advanced stuff, so while a lot of the concepts in it are still simple, I really suggest you watch the other one first. That being said, let's get into what we have for today. So, I have this thing here. So I'm in a mountain biome with surrounding forests. And let's see what happens when I go through my tunnel I have right here. Go on through. And now we're in a ice biome. As you can see, there's just the wormhole and lots of ice. And we can just go right back on through. So, as you can probably tell, there's a little bit of a load that happens right there. So let's take a look at the thing that makes this all work. If you move a little too close to the arm stand, it will send you right at this spot. Which is in this other tunnel. We put a little bit of a fake backdrop over here, so that way it makes it a little bit easier on the eye going through, so that way just before the load screen you still see something. This is one of the bigger ways that I've had whoops in some servers. Typically, players don't like this big massive thing taking up their build, so if you have a structure that's based around this, like a hub with all these different portals that go about, then yeah, that definitely works just fine, but you gotta be a little bit considerate to the players. This is just something that, like, in personal worlds, where I do mostly survival with a little bit of command blocks, I like to build this. So, with the almost stands in there, what's actually happening? Well, down here, I have this command block. Before we go over the command block that has everything going on, let's talk real quick about MC Stacker and how wonderful it is. There's a tag section that you can put in it that, well, lets you put a particular tag on an entity like you would in a computer, and makes it to where it's easier to select that particular thing. Using MC Stacker, we made two tags, Wormhole 1 and Wormhole 2. Well, looking out right here in the mountainous and forest biome, we have this one. It is telling Wormhole 2 to execute a command as itself, at itself, and to execute any entity that is not tagged Wormhole 1 or Wormhole 2 within one block of it to teleport that entity to this particular location, which is what links up to the other bridge. Now you can use this to make a whole bunch of different set locations. They also don't need to be as in the open as this one. Let's go take a look at another example. Here we are in a pretty normal looking lake. I have a few sea lanterns here to keep the place lit up a little bit. Looking around, there's those birch trees, some sugarcane, these hills right here, and if we dip down right over here and go into this little hidey spot, we're now over here. By a village, some plains, and that little hill. We come right over here to this patch of gravel. That one isn't as clean of a transition as you could. The depth of the water makes it a little bit difficult for that, but you can kind of see how you can have different locations like that. But yeah, that's about all I want to show you. This is the one that I really like to use, but I just don't have the chance to a lot of the time. Just because making big, bulky things builds around teleportation is a little more difficult to do with other players and get them to be on board with it, in my experience. But it's still something nice to have for adventure maps or just personal worlds that you want to have more unlimited teleportation with. I mean, also you get to make cool builds like this. And figure out interesting illusions. Which isn't that elaborate, but it's still cool that you can see that spot right there just before you teleport. In any case, this has been possibly random. I hope that you learned a little bit more about teleporting with command blocks from this. As I said, it's just building on the concepts from the first video, but here's a few more interesting ideas they could do with it. I'm going to go cry now, because accidentally breaking command blocks in creative is a thing. Yeah. Bye. Yes, that part at the end was serious. I did actually accidentally break one of the command blocks during the course of recording this. So, what you're gonna find down in the bottom is going to be a recreated version of it, because I don't want to record the whole thing again. I'm just gonna go be sad.